Hey, boys and bunnies. Weather report for February 2nd, 2022. And what am I? 25,960 days old today. It's my birthday.
You have that up on your computer at all times, so
no.
Just look at it. No.
Very first thing when I'm waking up, before I put my feet on I put my feet on the floor, and I know
the math.
Yeah, I know the number.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a couple of days if I get really distracted, I'll miss it, and then but I don't like to do that. I like to know the number every day. And then if I get in my car and I'm going to get on the freeway, I always say the number before I start because I want to know how old I am at the moment I
just in case. Yeah, exactly.
I just want to know.
Yeah, just want to know. Yeah.
I think we're going to put it on my tombstone. So
there you go. That's
along with a.
Well, I don't know. My future in the next 24 hours is precarious at best. We're going to get down to 26 degrees, and it's raining right now, so there may be like ice all over the roads, and then like tomorrow it snows. So we'll be getting down to the 20s. So it's going to be mayhem in the state of Texas.
I remember the old days when it was 26 degrees. That was a long time ago.
So look in chat speed. Maynard Save is mentioning that I just mentioned a minute ago. That I don't have the timestamp for it. I was actually caught a little bit of that stream, but I didn't see that part of it.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that shit at all. I really don't. I'm perplexed by this whole thing. So why is that all slid over like that?
No, this is different. This is
something else.
Yeah, during LPP stream. Yeah, I don't know if you caught any of that, but Sal and Rob, I think, went at it, and I didn't catch that part of it where it got heated, I guess.
Rob,
Rob was calling him dishonest, and I don't know what he said. If he called him Slimy Sal or anything, I don't know. Whatever he did, but it got heated.
Which Rob is that? Not Rob from Sentinel Apologetics, right?
Yes.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Well, I don't. Like I said, he may have. I don't know how serious it got, but Sal got pretty pissed off. I know that. And
really? We got to have timestamp, guys. We got to know where that is.
I know. I was going to go searching for it, but it's like a 6-hour stream, and Sal was in there for a long time, and I just didn't have the time to. You'd have to go through it, Sometimes I'll go through it and speed it up and try to find it, but it's a really long one. So
whatever it takes to get that coverage.
Yeah, I know. I know you would have liked it, but I just didn't have time to find it.
I'm just thinking. I've talked with Rob. I haven't talked with him recently. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I'd had a couple of longer conversations with him in the past, and he seems like kind of a tough guy to get to elicit that kind of a response out of. He's pretty.
So you're the one, Romans 9 debate after show. Was that the one?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah. No. Did humans live longer in the past? Right. That one.
No, the one LPP. Yeah, I think so.
Last night.
Okay, which one?
Last night.
No, I think it was the one before that.
What?
Okay, I've got one where the guy in a flannel shirt waving his arms around, and
let me go. Let me pull it up, and I'll.
The title is Live Romans 9 Debate After Show.
I think it's the one that's like 6 hours long. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's a 6-hour one, 6.5 hours, and then there's a 7-hour one.
It's the one. I'm pretty sure it's in.
Yeah, no, I listened to this one and I didn't find anything with. I don't even think Cell was on there.
It's letting
All right,
me.
maybe you're right. It could be the other one. I could be wrong.
Well, it's letting me open a transcript.
What's that?
Real a
I've got a
7-hour one?
transcript. Yeah,
Oh
the
my
one from
gosh.
Shit.
the one from
shit.
Romans 9 debate after show.
Google, YouTube is starting to do transcripts on long streams now. Holy shit.
Yeah. So the next question is, what's a keyword I can look for to see if this is the one?
Maynard Save is saying it's near the first hour, he said. So,
I don't
like
think
I said,
so. Yeah, this is the one that Cell is on. The this one right here. So
yeah, and you also got to find it where Rob is in there, which he's not right now.
Okay, so that's the one. So which was it? The most recent one? The 7-hour one?
okay, Rob, Sentinel Paul.
Right there,
There's
the bottom, the
Rob.
very bottom right. Bottom right is
Okay, I
Rob.
see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is gonna be juicy. I like juicy stuff.
Well, back to what Jefferson was saying. Rob doesn't like, you know, he doesn't really care for the young earthers because you know how they are. They just spew out a bunch of bullshit and
Bunch of garbage.
yeah, and Rob just doesn't care for that, and he calls them out every now and then when they're having a discussion. If they say something that's just complete bullshit, he'll call them out every now and then about it. And I think that was the case. I think Sal was just spewing bullshit, I'm sure. And so, yeah, like I said, I didn't have a chance to search for it. So,
Ooh, how did I get that on there? Oh my god. What does this look like to you guys?
Skittles. Skittles on a stick.
You got it. You go to the
Skittles
front of the
box.
class. Front of the class. These are amino acids, my friends.
well, it says it right on the top there.
It says amino acid.
Peptides.
Are they illegal?
No. Maybe some of them.
This one guy I knew had some acids and he got arrested. So
Nope.
I'm being stupid. I'm sorry. I'll go back to the back of the class.
Wrong acids. Okay. Anyway, these are the little molecules I was showing you on my other drawing before, right? So you've got the thing about amino acids, you got that N on the left. You see that N where my little mouse is? My mouse
Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay,
We can see it. I can see it. Yep.
And then there's a carbon, okay, right there. And that's called the alpha carbon. And then there's another carbon called carbonyl carbon. So there's two carbons and a nitrogen. And if you hook them together, what happens is you take that hydrogen and oxygen, and you take another hydrogen, which is water, H2O, and you take that out of the equation, and it joins it together. And hold on a minute, I got to cough up. I think that was successful. Anyway, so the thing is, when you look at a protein chain, you got an N, you got a nitrogen, you got a carbon-carbon, another nitrogen, carbon-carbon, another nitrogen, carbon-carbon, along a whole huge long string for a protein. So it's kind of that simple. But now every amino acid has this form. And what you'll notice here is this carbon with that OH would be an alcohol, right? With an OH group, that would be like methanol, ethanol. But if you add a double bonded O to that, it's a carboxyl group. It's an acid, basically, and that would be like acetic acid or vinegar. So this is the acid part, okay? Now, if you attach a nitrogen and two hydrogens to a carbon, you end up with something called an amine. So that's where they get amino acid. So amino acid. So they're that simple, and they all have that structure. All 20 of them have that structure. Now this R down here, this little block, that is where the amino acids all differ from each other. And that's where they have this, each one has a unique chemical nature. It has its own size, its own, if you looked at it like puzzle pieces, it's going to have a certain size and a certain structure, that R group. And there's 20 different ones. So, and that's it. And that's how dipeptides happen. And they kick out this water over here. So it joins, grabs that water, condenses it, and takes the water out, and you've got a chain. Now, once these peptide bonds form, now apparently in physiological conditions, which is roughly, I don't know, 80, 90 degrees, certain pH, pretty just a little above neutral. I don't know what it is exactly. I'm not a doctor, but the half-life on these things is 600 years, or about, on average, about 480 years or 500 years. So in 500 years, these things would break down. So they're around for a while. So once it forms these proteins or peptides, which are real small proteins, they stick around for a long time. It's not easy to break them up. It takes energy to break them in half. And so that's kind of where the whole thing starts, right? Now, this diagram here shows you all 20 amino acids, and it sort of puts a Venn diagram together that gives you all the different characteristics, like the acidic ones. That would be, what is wrong with that? Okay, it's hard to understand the bubbles. The acidic ones are aspartic acid and glutamic acid, glutamic acid and aspartic acid. So those are acidic ones. And then there are basic ones. And there are some that have that hydroxyl group and OH on it. And I could show you a little more detail. So they all have different characteristics that overlap. So what you have here is as many overlaps as you have there. That's how many different kinds of building blocks you have to make proteins. And that's why proteins are so incredibly functional. And they help to enzymatically catalyze a whole bunch of different reactions. And that's kind of the secret of life. Like this Venn diagram shows you the combinatoric secret of life, because there are so many different combinations, right? There you got your basic ones: histidine, lysine, arginine, HKR. And then there's the hydrophobic ones. Those are the ones that stick in your cell membrane, or they like to hang out with fat. And then you have the hydrophilic ones, which like to hang out with water. And then you have some sulfur-containing ones, methionine and cysteine. And anyway, so that's the whole story. It's the combinatorics of this stuff that ends up coming into this amazing complexity. So anyway. And where's the chem doodle?
Teach, you are just wonderful. I got to bring an apple the next class.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so what I've done here is I've created a whole bunch of these things in my little molecule model. And what we have up on top here are the ones that don't like water. They're
Hydrophobic.
Yeah, hydrophobic, yeah. Polar. Okay, or non-polar rather, non-polar. So they're non-polar. So these things, there's 10 of them, as it turns out, half the amino acids. But each one, okay, glycine is like the simplest one. You would put the R group right there where that, oh, you can't see my cursor. Damn this thing.
No, I think I just saw that.
Oh, you can. Oh, you can.
Yeah, I can see the little circle you just put there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you put an R group there, it would be something else, like alanine has just a methyl group there, right? That's all it is. And this one has 3 carbons hooked up to it. It's valine. Okay, valine. This is a neat one. It's called cysteine, and it has a sulfur on the end. And the important thing about that is those sulfur bonds will form a di. Basically, they'll hook up together. And 2 of these cysteine molecules will fold the protein in and latch it. So they smash together 2 cysteines. And when you curl your hair, what you're doing is you're breaking down these cysteine bonds, and then you basically they reconnect in a different position, and they manage to curl your hair because it goes sulfur. There's a sulfur disulfide bond that forms, and that's how hair curls. And then we have proline, which is kind of a weird one because proline connects back around to that nitrogen. Okay. and proline ends up putting a little kink in these protein chains, and it has an effect, on the overall structure of the thing. And then down here we've got some more simple just carbons for the R group. There's 4 of them here. That's leucine, and isoleucine means it's an isomer of leucine. They're in just a slightly different configuration. And then methionine is another one with sulfur, but it's got a carbon on the end, so it doesn't do that disulfide bond thing. And then we have these weird ones with kind of big groups around here that end up making sort of bumpy proteins. So, but it all depends on the shape and the chemical characteristics of that R group. And these are the R groups down here. Whoops, I have to hit a Control-Z. Okay. And down here we have the polar ones that hook up to water, or like water. And you'll notice that most of the R groups, okay, this is the alpha carbon, this is the alpha carbon, so those are all alpha carbons. So these are the R groups. There's a carbon, and then there's an oxygen and a hydrogen, which makes it an alcohol, and that's serine. And then over here we have the same thing, except it's got another carbon sticking out of that one, right? And you'll find very often that serine and threonine together have they're interchangeable in function, and you'll find that a lot of proteins replace one for the other because they're kind of alike. There's a few cases where this carbon's going to get in the way, but for the most part not. And this one has a big old chunk of carbon hanging out of it, so it's kind of big. And then these are called amides. When you hook up when you have a double bond, if you want a carboxyl, you would have a hydrogen or an oxygen and a hydrogen there, but that's replaced with a nitrogen and 2 hydrogens, and that makes an amide bond, not to be confused with amine. And that's asparagine and glutamine. So, okay. Now these guys are basic. They have some electrons that are hungry for protons, basically. Lysine, arginine, and histidine. There's 3 bases. And then down here, these guys are acids, and they're hungry for electrons, and they like to give up protons. So we have aspartic acid and glutamic acid. Now, the interesting thing is that there are 10 nonpolar, there are 5 polar, and there are 3 plus 2 acidic basic, which make 5. So it's almost like this statistically worked out so that we ended up with like a minimum Lego set or box of acids that we needed to create this vast complexity of proteins. So anyway, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure.
Some sense.
Yep.
Here I had to show the carbons, but remember, we don't show the hydrogens all the time, because if you show the hydrogens, if you go over here and we do a molecule, and it's not showing the hydrogens. Damn it. Hang on a second. I will fix. Show hydrogens. Done. Make it okay. So there's the carbon. That's methane. This is ethane. It's showing all the hydrogens, right? And here's propane, and here's butane. And you see how messy it gets. And now if we went down here, we can go in the middle. We can keep adding to the end of the chain, or we can go in the middle of the chain, and we can add all kinds of weird shapes. So, I mean, this can get very, very complicated and form all sorts of different compounds, right? But if we want to get rid of that, you can see how confusing that is. So what we do is we get rid of the hydrogens like that, and it looks a little better. Now you can see the shape of the thing better. So that's why they don't always show the hydrogens on these organic molecules. But you have to assume that they're there, because carbon has to have 4 little sticks sticking out of it. So this one here is hooked up to 2 hydrogens, and this one's hooked up to 3 hydrogens. So those are just assumed.
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 Okay.
Yeah, those are assumed. Anyway. No one to shut up.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to say this probably every time you do one of these. So just let me know when this gets old. But I don't see Jesus anywhere in this little explanation. So, I mean, how blasphemous is all this?
Well,
Well, didn't they advertise these little complexes that were shaped like a cross for years, and then it turned out it could be shaped like anything? They just found the ones shaped like a cross. Anybody remember what I was saying?
I vaguely
What I'm
recall what
talking
you're
about?
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to use it as an excuse, like, oh, this is proof for the divine. It's like, no, just
damn.
happens to look like that.
Why do I keep doing that? Okay, so that's going to be an O. Now, if we have a carbon hooked up to an O, that's an alcohol. But if we hook it up to another carbon, like right here, that is ethyl ether, or that's methyl ether. Okay, if we wanted ethyl ether, the kind of ether you know about, we'd have two carbons hooked up right there, right? So it would be ethyl ether. And this would be, let me see, propyl ether. So, okay, propyl ether would be three things.
Purple people ether? I don't.
This is propyl ethyl ether, okay? And let's see here. Now, there's a way to do this, and I'm not sure if I can do it right. Got to do it right. Okay. So, I want to put that there. And how does this work? Do another one. I'll see. I should have drawn this in advance because this is kind of hard to do. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. Want to do that one right there. And then this one right here. Come on. Go up there. Go up there. Okay. And then this one down here. And that one. And nope. Sorry. Don't like it. Go down there. It's a little hard to manipulate. Okay. So this is propyl people ether.
Really?
Nobody got it.
Oh, I got it, but
Wasn't that what Scott just tried?
that's what I said earlier. Nobody responded to it, so I thought that was the thing we do now. Is dumb jokes. We just pretend they're not there, like a hungry bear at your campsite.
Right. Anyway, yeah. Rim shot, whatever. It's like the worst fucking chemistry joke ever. So, anyways, propyl people ether. Okay, guys. I shut up now. And then there's dead airspace because everybody's so shocked when I do this that I don't know what's going on.
It's amazing chemical graphics. I just love it.
Yeah.
We are listening intently.
Okay.
We are learning hard things. Our brains are processing the information, heating up.
Well, yeah, I probably should go back to this just to recap here because we don't want to fucking lose this part. Okay.
When they find me all frozen after our horrible winter storm tonight and tomorrow, I'll probably be totally frozen except for my brain, which will be thinking about carbon patterns.
Right. So this is the most important part, that you understand that CCN structure of amino acids and the fact that R group gives us this amazing complexity. And then we can look a little further into, and the other thing you can see about those R groups is that some of them are interchangeable and they will not affect the function of the protein. That there can be, like some of the R groups are so similar, like leucine and isoleucine, or what is the other one that I was mentioning? Oh, damn it. Threonine and serine, basically they're interchangeable. And so if there's a mutation between two different groups, it doesn't really matter to the function, right? So that's why we can look at, frogs and then look at ourselves and look at the very same protein that has the very same function. And the frog might have a serine and we'd have a threonine. And we can tell basically that's how we develop phylogenies, because of these proteins that don't matter, these amino acids that do not matter, that get modified over time by just random mutation. And so we can go ahead and look back, and you look at chimpanzees and they'll have the same amino acid we do, but a chicken or a frog won't. So you know that a chicken is less related to us than the chimpanzee. And that's how they do phylogenies. But it goes from there into like the most bizarre statistics. They are really making advances in how they statistically figure all this stuff out. So, and now I'm shutting up. I promise.
But no, we like it when you teach us stuff.
So my neighbor, okay, we never do this because we're like the worst neighbors in the world. We lived here for 22 years and we have never brought the neighbors anything. But for Christmas, I brought my new neighbors some really wonderful pastries that I found at a bakery, and for Christmas, right? And
Well, that's very cool.
She had threatened to do this before, but a couple of days ago, I'm out getting the mail. And she says, "I got a blanket for you. You might be interested in." So she gives me this big, huge, full-size Jesus blanket.
Oh, great!
Oh,
Comforter. But she isn't like that. She did it because she's aware of the channel, and
okay, yeah.
So she did it as just sort of, you got to have this.
A joke, yeah.
Well, very cool.
Okay,
Yeah, they're really cool. They're really the coolest neighbors. We won the neighbor lottery with these guys. So.
I know it really is almost a lottery. Sometimes you get neighbors that just don't get the idea they are wrong for the neighborhood.
Right. Yeah.
I think I'm that neighbor in this neighborhood, but other people are that way for me. They just don't get it.
Yep.
Can you play your scary music? The chat is driving me nuts.
We have another infestation of evangelical misinformation.
Yeah.
I used to have that like up and available, but I don't know.
Who's responsible for the misinformation?
It is our
OG.
our friend Otangelo Grasso of whatever variety.
Yeah.
Either the fake one or the real one.
I don't know. Whoops.
Okay. So we're going to change the subject now, or anything?
Yeah, we were ready. Well, that just does my heart good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that lifted your heart.
Yeah.
I just get up and dance when I hear that. I just love that shit.
Someone else stole that too on YouTube.
I just run around and chase people and things real fast when I hear that.
There's some channel out there, I can't remember the name of it, but that's using that same thing and with Darth, is playing Darth videos, and
okay.
they use that and they're calling it the Darth Clown Show.
Yep.
Some songs just have long lives to them, don't they?
Yeah.
Like the Macarena.
The Macarena. I mean, just any given Johnny Cash song.
Whoops.
Who let the dogs out? That's a classic.
Oh yeah. Oh, what the hell was that one? God damn it. I'm trying to think of a song. It's from the 50s or like the late 50s. When I was a little boy and my brothers and sisters used to play all these songs. Purple People Eater was one of them, but there was one. What the fuck was it? Something about if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, you got to find yourself an ugly wife.
Ugly woman and make her wife. Yes.
Yeah. And the guys that did that, one of them became a lawyer here in Minneapolis. He was on the news, because people were wondering whatever happened to him. But he had like this one-hit wonder, Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty good. But my brother-in-law used to sing that all the time. He was married to my sister.
All right, let's see.
Scott, you were talking about the weather taking a turn in Texas there.
Yeah.
You would not want to see what it's like where I'm at. The snow started falling around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. It has not stopped. It's completely white out. It's still falling, and I think there's we might be up to 8 inches by now.
Wow,
It's still
my
coming down.
goodness.
Really? Holy
That's
shit.
bad.
Yeah, the only real problem is going to be if and when, like, the rain that's falling now turns to ice and makes everything just totally slick. That's when I just stay in because everybody else is outside running into each other.
That's great.
I just got pounded with like 20 inches the other day, like 4 days ago.
Of snow.
Yeah.
Snow, right?
Yeah. Yes. 20 inches.
Holy
It
shit.
was quite a bit. They even thought there was going to be more. They were actually pushing for 30, but it didn't end up that much.
Just didn't try hard enough.
Yeah.
We're getting nailed in northern Minnesota, but we've only got a few inches on the ground down here in southern Minnesota. We just, for the last 5 years, we just haven't gotten any snow. Pretty bizarre.
Well,
You
there's
guys are
another
getting
kind
it
of storm system we haven't gotten a lot of in the last several years that I'm very glad for, that are very typical in Texas, and that's those tornado systems with the big F4s and F3s in them.
Yeah.
I say that there'll be one or two times during spring or summer where that will happen. But I mean, several years they would just come like it was just their turn to either come down to the certain spot on I-20 and either go north of us or south of us. And it was just like a Schrodinger's cat situation, except with a tornado. And it just seemed to always go around us. And I don't like to talk about it too much because it's like I'm superstitious and I don't want the luck to run out.
Right.
But we just haven't had big systems like that in a while come down to Fort Worth.
So Cordova, yesterday on Maddox's stream was going on about this. What the hell was he talking about? About that radiocarbon dating again, I think. Did you catch that? Where he's going on about this, all that I forget what the guy's name, but he took all these dinosaur bones and they took they had labs carbon date them, and they didn't tell the labs what the species was.
Yeah.
And they told them that they expected Paleolithic. So the lab thought it was, like a recent specimen, right? So they could run carbon dating on. And they came out with this wide range of values for carbon dating. And they're now using that as proof that dinosaurs are 6,000 years old. And it's just another big push. But I have his paper where he said specifically that when they sent it to the labs, that they were not honest with the labs about what they were looking for, about what the dates were. So they think that if you're honest with the labs, that the labs will fudge the dates. But I don't think that's what happens. I think what happens is that the samples are so small and so poor that the labs come back with this, wide range of results. Somebody's got to look into that shit and talk to these labs and find out what the samples actually were and what they did. But there was a thing on Reddit. Where are we here? Oh no, why don't I have it? Oh, the presents. Okay. So there was a thing on Reddit about this. Let me see if I can pull this up. It's in r/debate evolution. And hang on a second here. Put it up. Can you read it? Not
Yep.
sure if you can read it. Okay.
If I make it full, yeah.
Plus, I can make it a little bigger maybe. Let's see. Does that work with Reddit? Nope, it doesn't. Amazing. Anyway, the presence of actual undecayed tissues in fossils found at virtually every level of the geologic column. And he keeps saying this. It comes from ICR.org. And he got a number, a real wide range. Oh, Orge is
Hey, there's Orge, yeah.
121.
Yeah.
The notion that chitin or any intact biological material like soft tissue can last longer than 1 million years has no experimental support. Notice there is no citation for this quote. This because ICR will only cherry pick what supports them. And then let's see, the gist of the argument is creationists claim soft body preservation over deep time is impossible, therefore the earth is young. And let's see. Soft tissue findings all have one thing in common. You have to literally burn the mineral away with acid. This isn't even in the same league as mammoths in terms of actual preservation. What is being preserved is some original biological elements preserved in an ice cube made of stone. They can't exactly diffuse, so they get locked in place. So that guy might know what he's talking about. But anyway, there's
that sounds about right too. Yeah,
a whole lot of comment. Yeah.
Yep.
As usual, every source cited is a creationist article. I know of no undecayed tissues recovered from Paleozoic rocks. Well,
I don't know. Maybe Gra needs the Psycho intro music, but here's Grumania.
is he old now? You are Psycho.
Hold on. Oops. Sorry if there was an echo. I was trying to turn it off on my phone, but it was still playing. What are y'all doing? Look at you, your lovely faces.
Well,
Also handsome.
And handsome, yes. Well, Top Dog, he's got a cute face. I just want to pet it.
I keep wanting to shoot it.
Shoot it.
so Gur, are you? When was the last time you did a video? Somebody was asking me about you.
Let's see. I think the last regular video on my channel was 4 months ago.
Good Lord.
My last stream was a month ago, but my last actual video that, something that I'm actually proud of was probably 4 months ago.
nice distinction. Yeah.
Yes. I treat YouTube like a mullet. Like, it's business up front is my regular Gurmania channel. Party in the back is Gur streams.
So the last one you did would have been on Gur streams a month ago?
Yes, on the streaming, yes. I think it was a month and maybe 3 days ago now, to be exact.
Okay.
And,
Mystery stuff. Somebody was asking, I'm not seeing a lot of these streams happening, and I was like, yeah, there's not as many of them lately. There haven't been, but I mean, it's that time of year where between the holidays coming on and everybody getting busy, and then the holidays being over and everybody's depressed.
Yes, pretty much. Depressed, we got to go back to work.
Yeah.
You got 2 spatchcocks and Gurmania. You know what that equates to? StreamYard fucking poison.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. That would be insulting to put yourself and your brother in the same league as me. Be insulting to y'all. That is.
Us former homeschooled fundies have to try to back each other's
That's
players.
right.
I forget that. That's true. Yes.
You have to
trying to-
stick together.
We're trying to work off a lot. There's a lot of penance to be done.
Yes, there's a lot to unlearn when you're homeschooled.
That brief moment in time as a young man when I was like, do I need to stop listening to rock and roll music because it is of the devil? When you seriously consider that.
Fuck that, Jeff. I just finally put down the cat of 9 tails. That self-flagellation was getting fucking horrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Let me tell you, I couldn't watch Pokemon or Harry Potter because when Harry Potter first came out, I think I was 11 or 12.
Oh, it's magic.
Yes, they're like, oh, Gerd, that's witchcraft. That's praising the devil, and God does not like that. And at the time, I was like, okay, Mom, whatever, yeah, fuck the devil.
we had a relative that was so strict. There used to be back in the day. I was very little. There used to be these toys called Stompers. There were these wind up. They had battery operated trucks. You wind them up, kind of thing. You turn the battery on, and they take off. And they made these ones that were water safe. They were meant for pools, right? You take it as a pool toy, and they called them water demons. They floated on the top, and they had these great big like flipper wheels. And you did the same thing with them. Put batteries in them, hit the switch, and they would like tool around like a paddle boat in a pool. And we had a relative that would not allow her kids. This was an aunt would not allow her kids to have them because they were named Water Demon.
Oh,
they were also not allowed to go on they were not allowed to go on roller coaster rides with a demonic or occult sounding name, something like demon something or
Demon drop,
or the witch's brew or something like that. Nothing like that. Nope.
Beelzebub's corkscrew penis or something.
Parents were that way too. Now, granted, there was never a roller coaster I couldn't ride because of the name, but there was a lot of toys. Like I think they made me throw away my Alien toys. The original Alien movie, as it resembled something that would come from hell or something.
It is H.R. Geiger, so yeah.
Yeah. So
no one knows he's Satan's interior decorator. So
he does a great job.
Why are religious parents so goddamn dull? I mean, Jesus.
They don't realize that when religious, like crazy religious parents do that, all they're doing is they are creating something that's going to backfire on them.
Well, and the only art they want to expose their young kids to is a half-naked man with a sexy torso nailed suffering to a cross. And then they wonder why people turn out like Mel Gibson.
But the cherry on top, Jeff, is the crown of thorns. That gets me every time.
It's funny because the saying, why would somebody wear, like, if somebody killed your mother with a hammer, why would you wear a hammer around your neck as a little reminder? And that's what I think of when I see like people wearing crosses and a lot of symbolism.
It's kind of like, how'd your parents die? In a car accident? Is that why you wear that car-shaped pendant? Yep.
With a dent on the front of it.
Yeah, with a dent in it. Yeah. Little blood splatter here.
I can't remember where I heard this, but somebody once used that example. Like, well, what if the Messiah had been executed by electric chair, and then his followers in perpetuity were wearing little golden electric chair pendants around their neck? And somebody was like, well, that's just ridiculous. I think you know better than that. And I was like, I immediately had the thought, I'm like, how much more unwieldy would it have been had Jesus been executed by firing squad? That'd be a really weird image to try to manufacture.
I guess you'd have to wear a gun around your neck, like a little gun emblem.
Hey, Jeff,
I was always thinking it was a guillotine.
Let's not get into lethal injection, shall we?
Everybody's turning it around and turning it upside down. Like, what is that? That's an array.
If they'd hung him, it would have been really convenient. I mean, that would have been easy to do. Right?
They could have some insensitivities there, though.
I don't know.
Like Christians would just be walking around with a noose literally around their neck.
How would you represent? How would you represent drawing and quartering? Wait
a minute. We could have a. That might be an interesting thing because the KKK probably wouldn't have hanged black people if they knew that their Lord and Savior was killed with a rope.
That's a good point, actually.
And what would they have done? Burned a noose on their lawn? Or what?
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
It's a perfectly waste of good rope.
Well, not only that, but you can just stand there and you can just check your watch. Like, well, that noose isn't going to last very long. This will be out in just any minute now.
That's one thing I never understood is why the KKK were burning crosses, because wouldn't that be a sign of disrespect of the cross because you're burning it?
Yeah, if you burn the American flag, that's desecration. But somehow burning the American cross is supposed to show how serious a Christian you are. Like, I don't. Right, I don't get it.
It's no wonder they were like. It's like obviously they're dumb, but apparently they're even dumb.
My thing would have been to do is something that I learned from someone in my we're still friends today. But the thing to do is to get some margarine, specifically in the foil packages. And on a really hot summer day, take those packages of margarine and just make the shape of a cross in someone's yard. And when the heat of the sun cooks the margarine and that foil, it just basically just burns that shit right into the lawn.
Margarine.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Gur's taking a note. Buy industrial bucket of margarine.
What's even worse is when you throw a piece of that margarine on somebody's brand new roof.
No, I was going to say, after he gets done writing that down, he stands up and looks out his window at his next door neighbor. You're going to get it, Mr. Wilson?
Come ask for sugar one more time.
Take
For
my
the
news.
last time, I don't have any fucking milk for you.
I got almond milk only, bitch.
You know those Amazon boxes are for me, you old hag. Coming to get you.
Or
Still
just-
my packet
or
for the
just-
last
or just
time.
you just buy one of those 32-ounce, vac packs of soy milk. And when they come here, take this, fucking woman.
Even funnier, the investigators like touching the cross on the ground. The guy's like, the cross is buttery.
Got a fatty flavor to it. It's delicious.
It's Fleischmann's. What the fuck? Who uses corn margarine? Really?
I can't believe it isn't crosses.
You called us over here to report this damage done to your lawn, and it smells like an entire Wendy's roast potato. Their baked potato supply just exploded into the neighborhood. It's wonderful.
That's when you get the potato gun. You just start blasting your neighbors with potatoes.
It's weird because I think wasn't the KKK when they first started. I think they were kind of like they were designed to be absurd. So I think they wore like really garish colors and stuff, and they're basically trolls. And then they I don't remember who it was. I don't have a comprehensive understanding of the history of the organization, but if I remember right, like their first manifestation, they were kind of like punks, and then somebody came along and kind of like turned them into a kind of a military organization, and that's when they got the whole started getting into the hoods and the dragon structure. The main guys wore red instead of white. Just yeah.
Huh. Okay. I didn't know that. I do know that one of the funniest things I've ever seen was in Quentin Tarantino's movie where it shows
John Goodman. Yeah.
it shows them
No.
trying to put on those outfits.
I'm thinking of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Where John Goodman is kind of the Cyclops guy with just an eye patch, but he's also a member of the KKK.
Yeah.
Well, in Django Unchained, I think that was the movie.
That is.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's these slave owners, and this guy's like, "Okay, everybody, my wife made these for us," and they were like little pillowcases. Like the first time they donned the.
She was up all night making these damn things. Like I can't see shit.
Shit. Oh, that was so funny. I was about.
You guys talk about
We've
Django.
completely derailed Speed's stream at this
Yeah.
Well,
point.
he's not even here. He said, "Be right back," and so
No, I'm back. I'm
Well,
back.
he
Jay-
came back. Okay.
Jay was really
No,
prophetic when he said.
wanted-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Speed.
I wanted you guys to derail it, so thank you.
No. And
Because I
derail
was
it,
done.
we did.
We just kind of went with the flow of the conversation.
I came
No,
in here
Dirk.
because I came in here to talk about the conversation. I don't know if it's still going on in the live chat, but there's a bit of a back and forth between Nestlig and Otangelo.
Oh my God, what are they talking about now?
Oh, designer.
No,
Jesus
Christ.
Otangelo's trying to convince Nestlig that there is a designer that makes things. Can you come up with a possible alternative? And
Look at this. Look at this one.
then Otangelo's basically
Good
saying,
luck.
okay, how does this designer do this?
Good luck finding excuses once you're in front of your critic, explaining to him why you denied him. I didn't deny him. I just don't think he's real. Like I don't understand why God would have a problem understanding this.
Okay.
Like God's not going to get that I'm not convinced he exists. So he's gonna accuse me. So he's going to lie.
Right, because he wouldn't. Because if he's real, then he's all knowing, so he would know exactly why you don't believe in him or whatever. It's like,
So Otenzel's worldview is that the universe is like junior high, and you have to go up in front of the principal, right? Like at some point. I mean, what is? I just don't understand this patriarchal.
Yeah, I was going to just say it is kind of a daddy, kind of like we need to have this. We have to go one step above our parents to really drive points home, and that's I believe that God created the universe. Why? Because that fucker said so. What fucker are you talking about? The one that I believe in that I can't fucking show you. Can you give me any examples? You're living in it right now. Wait a minute. So you're saying that reality is the example of something that made it? Yes. Show me what made it. I can't. Oh,
it's
You
outside.
just have to believe. You have to choose to believe.
Well, the other thing too is that you don't need. I mean, it's self-evident. I mean, how is there something rather than nothing?
Yeah, you can't prove that I'm wrong.
Yeah,
shifting the burden of proof.
Even you deny just by denying God, you're affirming Him. Get it? Nope, I don't. Sure don't. Just by denying Santa Claus, you affirm his existence. Don't you see?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Like, no, I don't. Like, well, you don't. Santa Claus and God. That's you're just being flippant because Santa is a magical creator, a creature of imagination and make believe, just made up. God is the fundamental underpinning of all of creation. Okay, what if I told you that Santa was the underpinning of all of creation, the absolute metaphysical foundation for everything?
It's not Santa Claus. I already found it. It's in my backyard, eating the weeds in my backyard. It is a rainbow colored fucking unicorn and it shits gold bricks. I'm rich, bitch.
That's a category.
But I still need you to give me 10% of your income.
That's not a problem. I'll just feed her more fiber.
But I mean, think about how inconsistent and screwed up this worldview is. Okay, man is this like damaged, humble, sort of, sinful beast, right? Yet the only thing that can create the universe, the entire universe, is a human-like intelligence, right? A tool-making creature, that actually can make things like we make things. So at once they're saying that we are God,
but it conjures the things that it makes things with its brain.
Yeah, just its brain.
Keep in mind that one of its properties is its immutability, and its immutability follows as an entailment from its perfection. It's a being that requires it can't change because it doesn't need to change because it is not insufficient in any way, never has been, never will be. But it created all of reality to maximize its glory. And then at that point, as soon as somebody says that, you can just kind of like step away from them and be like, okay. All right. Did you record yourself saying that exact same thing? Play it back to yourself, and when you realize how stupid that was, slap yourself in the face.
Yeah, and not only created but planned it in detail and knew a lot about molecular biology, so that it could basically decide, I'm going to change this amino acid to this one for chimpanzees. And have you heard Sal Cordova's theory that the reason God made chimpanzees so much like us is so that we could kill them.
Yeah,
medical experiments on them. He said that over and over. He said that God's glory, basically.
But why would we be if everyone was actually satisfied with the basic explanations that come from Christianity? I mean, if it was universal and no one really doubted it, would we even be motivated to experiment on chimps?
Yeah.
Speed, there's an echo coming from your end.
Oh shit! I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving. I'm coming back.
He's not coming back, y'all.
He's like, you pissed him off, Spatchcock, by echoing.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
But if that was in any way true, isn't it a fact that we actually use pigs and then of course genetically
still there?
Yeah, we're still here. Genetically breeded rodents for most of our experiments. I know they do experiments on chimpanzees and things, but don't they use pigs as more of an analog to humans than
Well,
chimps.
it's for certain tissue tests, yeah, because we have,
Yeah.
as far as like skin tissue, there's more similarity.
Long pig. There's a reason why we're called long pig.
Long pig.
Man bear pig.
Long pig.
And,
I hear. I've heard that we taste like chicken.
Isn't the native word? What was the native word for it? I can't remember for human meat. There's actually one. I don't know if it's from New Guinea, from Papua New Guinea or what. There was actually a word for it.
From the Maori or whatever.
So did you hear about that barrel of monkeys that got loose on some freeway? There was a trailer crash and like 120 monkeys in Pennsylvania. Ended up
Were they monkeys like what they had tails, or were they chimps or
they were monkeys and they were on their way to some testing lab so they could kill them, and they were free for a moment, but unfortunately they were free in Pennsylvania, and they 12 of them died of exposure. But I mean, how fucking cruel, And I was thinking,
let me guess. The others died.
Yeah.
The others died from
They're
obesity
laughing about
caused
it.
by. The other ones died from steak and cheese sandwiches, right?
yeah, right. The other ones they shipped to the lab and killed them. So
Those monkeys are like, freedom, woohoo! Oh, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Well, I'm sitting there kind of like chastising Gurr for laughing about what these poor monkeys are going through. Remember that thought experiment about taking those women back in time?
Did you hear about the hysteria that went on right after that? Like, there was a woman that came on the scene, and she was like exposed to something. I don't know if their feces or whatever was all over the place at the scene of the accident, and then the woman got sick, and then everybody's freaking out. Oh, the government did that on purpose to plant another pandemic and all. Oh yeah, it was
There's nothing more efficient than throwing a box full of monkeys out onto the freeway.
A barrel full of
Vid.
monkeys.
Okay, it's Monkey Vid 2022 or 22. Monkey Vid.
Monkey Vid. 20. Oh my God!
I like whoever titled
Where's it's just like they said in the hot zone.
Yeah. But anyway, I was trying to find a silver lining in that story, and I couldn't fucking find one. There was nothing to grab on.
I was looking for optimism in a sad story. It wasn't there.
They rescued the monkeys, and now they're going to do medical testing and kill them anyways. Like, fuck.
Now to really depress my audience, now we'll talk about Otangelo. Oh my God, get us a gun.
I always try to look for the silver lining.
Well, I mean, if you're Sal, at least you could say, well, and now we can experiment on them because that's what God wanted.
Yeah, God wanted us to torture monkeys.
That is the dumbest thing. Maybe not the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of dumb things, but
you know what I would have told Sal if I was in there. I said, Sal, that's absolutely ridiculous. Why? Because if I was one of those doctors working on those monkeys and wanting to experiment and do medical testing for human benefit, I prefer to use something that's actually to scale. Like what? Humans.
Exactly.
That'd be the unlicensed variety of experimentation, Jay.
And Jay, after you say that, you say, "Hey, you want to come over for dinner tonight?"
Well, he even went further than that, and he said that basically we could sacrifice monkeys instead of little aborted fetuses, which is far better to him. Killing an adult monkey, right?
Is he one of those guys that thinks that like science, quote unquote, the monolith, big bad science, is constantly harvesting aborted fetuses to create vaccines?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, he thinks they're basically harvesting them to do all kinds of research, and that isn't quite what's happening. So
no.
As somebody that the ding dong rebuke and reprove, Jesus is Lord. He used to. I remember a couple years ago we got into a conversation with him because he was like, "No, it was well. Actually, I think it was at the beginning of the pandemic. Talking about vaccines and stuff. He's like, no, they put those flu vaccines and stuff. They make them out of aborted fetal tissue and everything. He still says that if it comes up, and we're like, yeah. I mean, the original line was that stuff has been. Like I think that cell line started in like the late 70s, But he acts like, oh yeah, every time a woman has an abortion, they, some evil demon slinks in and snatches up the bio tissue for scientific research and for the development of vaccines. Like, no, bro, no.
The sad thing is, my dad is of that same opinion, and I was telling him, I was like, Dad, there was 2 abortions performed in the 60s. I think it was the 60s, and that was it. Like, that was it. They were able to use some of the cells from the abortion to kind of basically grow viruses that they could fight against, or something along those lines. I was like, they're not just killing, they're not out there like aborting babies every day just so they can have vaccines.
I think maybe I'll get Speed in some trouble here, but I think that women should actually get like cookies or paid for the fact that if they don't want to take care of a child and they happen to be pregnant, that they go in and they don't have to pay for that service. That service should be paid for by the government because they're conserving resources.
Yes.
That's a fair argument.
They should get carbon tax credits for that.
Yeah,
they should. But I think they have used recent fetuses for some stem cell research, but now they've got to the point where they were able to create their own stem cells because they figured out how to reverse the tissue, going down the line of diversification. In some cases, they figured out how to back that up and take like a adult liver cell and turn it into a stem cell and stuff. But I'm not sure where that research is, but a lot. I mean, it's coming along.
I'm sorry, Speed. Do you happen to have a timestamp for that, for when Sal said that?
Oh shit! He has said it at least 3 times over the last year, and I would have to look.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if you could find that, it'd be cool to send that to Cosmic Skeptic. I'm sure he'd have a fucking field day with it.
Oh yeah.
I will maybe look through some videos and see if I can search for it. I am obsessed with Sal Cordova. So.
Oh, I know he's living in your head rent free. I know that.
He's well, no, not. I wouldn't describe it that way.
Just joking.
He does pay me to advertise for him. So,
hey. Every once in a while, Speed wakes up in the middle of the night sweating, and he goes, "Sal!" And then he goes,
exactly.
I thought it'd be more like it would be more like Captain Kirk's yelling, Khan and Star Trek.
So I'm on episode 68 of The Office. I started at the beginning, and I'm rewatching the entire thing. And I had a romantic dream about Pam when I took a nap this afternoon.
That's a good dream.
I need fucking help.
Did the dream require you having to do at least some laundry?
Wherever you guys' mind went with that, no, it wasn't. I said romantic. I didn't say.
So what you're saying is it started off with laundry.
No, it was like it was like a cool junior high romantic sort of dream. It wasn't one of those.
Those are the worst. Those are just annoying.
I love them.
Speed was all like, "Hey, can I do your laundry, baby?"
I'll take the wrinkles out of your t-shirts.
Take it off so I can help you do the laundry.
Yeah. That bra looks a little wrinkly.
Jesus Christ. I shouldn't have brought it up.
It's not going to matter at this point, Speed. Anything that you mention at this point is just going to be converted to perversion.
Yes.
This is what they do. This is what the atheists do.
StreamYard fucking poison. I already called it.
Yep.
Prophet J.
Well, when you engage in the behavior you prophesied, I don't think that is exactly. I don't think that's legit.
Well, yeah. So
you guys,
do you feel in prophecy?
I predict this place is going to get robbed. Pulls out crowbar.
Now give me your money.
Hey, Jeff, are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on my computer.
Oh, can you go to, if you guys really want to see something stupid, it's from PMARS and it's on Jill's Jill's stream. Jeff, do you think they'd find that interesting?
I'm not. I'm not going to share it, but if they want, if someone else would like to, yeah, it sounds pretty stupid.
Okay, Speed, you're up.
What?
Gotta find it.
Jesus is Lord? Where the fuck is
Well,
that?
It's
Rebuke
and
Rebuke.
reproved. Yeah.
Is he
All
live?
one word. No. It's his stream from last Sunday. It should be the most recent one. That's most recent video that's up on his channel.
Okay, so P Mars, that right away what comes to mind is porn bomb. It isn't that, right?
No, it's not a porn bomb. No.
Okay.
No, he tries to be intelligent and bombs.
Is this the one where they're going after Peter, I think?
No, it's not the 5-minute Peter one. Peter one. No, it's a 3 hour. It's like see, I was quick on that one. It's like it's his most recent one. It's from last Sunday. It'll have Matt Dillahunty on it. The thumbnail's Matt Dillahunty.
Is that like 9 days ago? Oh, Matt Dillahunty.
click on the video tab, Speed.
Yeah. What the fuck is this other tab for? What is the purpose? I don't see Matt. Do you see Matt?
Oh,
there he is.
We definitely need.
What's happening?
We definitely need to find the Sal thing too. Maynard Save is saying something. It sounds like it was really good. Thought Sal was literally gonna cry.
Okay, we'll do that one on Wednesday. Or what day is it today? What day is it today?
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Oh fuck, we'll do it on Friday then.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
It sounds pretty
I was
good.
just thinking that. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
How'd I get to be Wednesday? Fuck.
Well, it starts out with Monday, and then you get to Tuesday.
Yeah, I quit updating on Monday. I gotta start updating every day.
Every 24 hours, it seems to like, oh, there's the next day.
Oh, it's
Sorry.
Mars.
Huh?
P Mars is on there for a long time. He's
Yeah,
all over.
you want to go to about the hour and a half mark. Go to about 1 hour, 30 minutes into that video.
Right there. Do I dare? Do I dare fucking do this?
If you want, you guys might find it a little entertaining.
Historian. He says, there was in fact greater technical progress in civilization.
Stop a moment. Take it just a couple minutes. Go back about another minute. Take it to about an hour 29. So they're talking about slavery here. So
Oh, this should be good.
What are you talking about? Because the patches has a context, and if the context is not a normal battle, which I don't think First Samuel is, I don't think First Samuel is normative, meaning that's not the normative prescription for what you would do with women and children. The normative prescription would be to marry them, and they would become your feds or your servants. They would become part of your household. Is that what you're referring to?
Did he say what? Did he say you'd marry them and they would become your servants? Or?
he's talking about war brides. He's trying. So Jill is trying to give a little context. Jill is having a conversation with a Kiki Muslim person, right? And Kiki Muslim doesn't agree with Jill. But Jill's entire argument here, what he's trying to do is he's trying to draw a parallel between ancient Israel and the way they conducted warfare and what they did with their prisoners of war to 1949 Geneva Conventions.
Oh, he's doing that again. Or
Yeah.
is this from a long time?
So he's basically saying when the ancient Israelites defeated a nation and killed off all their men, and like the soldiers found women that they found beautiful, and they would take them, and then they would have to give a month. They would marry them, right? They would take them and they'd marry them, and then they would give about a month because their family is all dead. They give them a month to mourn, and then boom, everything's supposedly hunky dory after then. They got themselves a wife out of killing all this one particular nation off. Jill's basically trying to say, well, America does that too. When we go and we fight, when we fought Germany, when soldiers would marry women from Germany, or if a man married a woman in Japan, therefore he was taking her because she was, he's actually helping her because they've just, apparently the United States took out Japan completely, all their fighting men.
Well, I'd like him for my defense lawyer,
But anyway, that's just so that's the context of the conversation. But then P Mars has to add he adds a little bit to this, and I thought it was funny.
Okay. So roll it.
Yep.
I'm done
When-
talking to you. Talk to you is like a brick wall. You can
Okay,
compartmentalize.
I'm trying to
I got a
understand-
real.
And
wanna
again, I
ask
already
Kiki.
said it's past the 1:30 mark that I plan on staying.
Well, Kiki,
okay.
real
Plan on
quick,
doing cars again,
is the only reason you
I'll
believe
come
this?
back on in 2
Is the only
weeks.
reason you believe this because
plan
of
on doing
Matt
cars.
Dillahunty told you?
I'm
All right,
actually,
yeah.
I typed in earlier today that I'm only planning on staying till 1:30 because I got better things to do.
I found the verse the page where I was trying to. It's page 36 on This Is the Book, The Technological Society. And he's talking about how slavery is actually a hindrance to technological development. And he says right here, this guy is a professor at the University of Bordeaux. He's a historian. He says, there was in fact greater technical progress in civilizations where slavery was prevalent, for example, Egypt, than in others where the institution was practically unknown, for example, Israel. You hear that? He's saying that the institution of slavery.
Go ahead and pause. Did you guys catch the contradiction at the beginning?
I was slightly distracted by Speed scrolling around on StreamYard.
I was distracted by trying to fucking figure this shit out.
I was trying to listen.
God damn!
Like
maybe we need to listen to-
Take it back just a few seconds and then listen to it again.
I mean, fucking Scott. God damn. Okay,
Just leave it, Speed.
God damn.
Oh, God. He's just a child.
Fucking hyena. Okay. I was distracted myself, so hopefully
My name.
okay, Scott. I kept seeing the hyena, and I
He's
just
just a
You can't see
child.
that. I'm up here. I'm looking down upon you all.
We're looking up to you. It's
Now I'm on the bottom.
okay. We gotta figure it out now, Jay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You still have problems with the screen share, don't you? Jesus, what? Good Lord.
Well, this fucking, I don't know, these little icons. There's a little icon with a little man standing by a screen. There's a little man standing with two other little men.
You had it right so many times, but then you kept fucking with it.
Failure to adapt is even a reason for the military to boot a soldier out. I'm just saying.
Well, it kept showing the hyena, and I couldn't understand why. Okay.
Me
Because
neither.
hyena was in the upper left-hand corner. That's what I didn't know about, Scott.
I love the fact that this has now become the topic of conversation.
Fucking Scott took my upper left-hand corner spot, and I wasn't looking.
Well, Speed, let's focus on the video and
You were
back it
trying
up
to
to
take
the
over my
point
channel.
where Jefferson says,
Oh yeah, you'd like that because you were trying to take over my channel, and I caught you, man.
See?
This
back it up
is so
a few
random.
minutes, back it up a few minutes, and hit play.
Okay, we're doing it.
Kiki,
Okay.
real quick,
Yeah.
is the only reason you
I'll
believe
come
this?
back on in 2
Is the only
weeks
reason
if
you
we
believe
can
this because
plan
of
on
Matt
doing cars.
Dillahunty told you?
Have I gone back far enough?
All right, yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Say that I'm only planning on staying till 1:30 because I got better things to do.
I found the verse the page where I was trying to. It's page 36 on This Is the Book, The Technological Society. And he's talking about how slavery is actually a hindrance to technological development. And he says right here, this guy is a professor at the University of Bordeaux. He's a historian. He says, there was in fact greater technical progress.
Did you say pause?
No, I said was. He keeps talking about
Oh.
this. The author that he's talking about. I know he's the only author that P. Mars knows, and he's been dead a while. He is not currently teaching anywhere. P. Mars is an idiot.
In civilizations where slavery was prevalent, for example, Egypt, than in others where the institution was practically unknown, for example, Israel.
Pause.
You hear that? He's saying
He's
Pause.
saying the opposite. He
Okay, he
said
said-
that it's harmful, but then the professor he reads says they were more technologically advanced in the slave countries.
Yeah. And then the other part that's funny is when he says it was practically unknown in some civilizations, for example, Israel. Okay, so P. Mars uses this to kind of throw in the face of Kiki. See, later on that he's like, you're a fucking idiot. I just read from a historian how he said that Israelites didn't practice slavery. That's not what his author said. His author said that it was virtually unknown of in certain civilizations. And for as an example of one of these civilizations, he gives Israel.
Which is wrong.
How the fuck does Israel not know about the fucking institution of slavery?
Yeah. Okay.
I swear, P. Mars is the dumbest son of a bitch out there.
Wait, when was he on the last time you did a video, girl? Did he show up? Does he still show up for your videos?
No, I have him banned, and anytime I see anything that just makes me think of him, I just ban the person. But the first time he joined my stream, he was cool. It was fine. The second time, I started to kind of engage with him a little bit on some of his stuff. And the more he talked, the more I realized just how fucking stupid he is. And then finally, I was like, okay, okay, so you're telling me you believe in the Bible, and the Bible was written or inspired by God, but you have said countless times you don't read the Bible. You read books about the Bible instead of just reading the Bible itself. And then then I brought up slavery. I forget what all happened there, but he did his same shit.
Well, the thing about the author that he's talking about, it's his favorite author, Jacques Ellul, and this guy is a Christian anarchist.
Oh.
Jacques Ellul was a trained sociologist. He did teach. He was a professor of history, I think, at Bordeaux. But he originally started out as a trained sociologist. But for some weird reason, P. Mars is like fuckboy status for this guy.
Speed, you're echoing again, I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Every time.
Fucking do this again. I'll be back.
Am I echoing? Oh, I guess not. There's the face you want to see when Speed leaves.
Yeah. But the first time, hey, Garrett, did you ever see the first time I had a one-on-one conversation with P. Mars?
No, but I would love to see that.
Okay, I've got it somewhere. It's probably private, and I'll send you the link. I'll unlist it, make it.
Okay, yeah.
But I was binging a lot of Hannibal, the series.
Oh, that's a good show.
I'm a fan of Mads Mikkelsen, right? And so
I love him.
And I was getting drunk on wine, and so I start basically start doing like a bad impersonation of Mads Mikkelsen's Hannibal. So basically, for the 45 minutes, it's like a one-on-one fucked up counseling session live. It was fucking awesome. People are like, Jesus, dude, you really held on for this? I was like, yeah, I was drunk. I was enjoying myself. I don't even remember the fucking conversation, but it was funny.
I do, because I went back and watched it because MathPick told me. He's like, so yeah, your brother lost his mind last night and had this psychotic exchange with P. Mars, and he's like, and it was like he was like a predator kind of toying with a victim before he skins him, and he's like, it's kind of weird. He's like, well, you got to check it out. So I did. I go to it and I start watching it, and I was like, holy shit, he was drunk off his ass. Because sometimes he asked the same question. He just asked it a different way right after, and P. Mars has attempted to answer. The weird thing is, though, as it goes on, I think you sober up, Jay. I think you get a little worse, and then you start to kind of get a little bit better. Like 15, 20 minutes, you start.
Yeah, that was the peak of the alcohol, and then it was too late for me to go out and get more.
Yeah, so it starts to wear off. So then he starts getting kind of irritated a little bit. But the strange thing is throughout the entire thing, P. Mars is universally still much, much, much more stupid sounding than Jay, even though Jay is like almost blackout drunk. It's sad.
Those were the good old days, right? Those were the good old days when P. Mars was entertaining.
Yeah.
Guys, did you notice? Did you notice that after the Benny Hill theme song that there were no more posts from Otangelo?
Did he really leave because of that?
Yeah.
I wondered if there was a one-to-one comparison. Because that's like, and he kept going back and forth, and at some point
they were done.
He said, well, something about, you'll know when you see the creator and have to say, and then
when he starts,
I should have played that one.
Yeah, you always know he's starting to get bad in the conversation because he's trying to get to this nebulous deity and he's trying to have a conversation about an alternative and all this other kind of stuff. And he starts talking about like design and all this shit. But you know he's starting to get weak in it when he starts citing Bible verses, which he did with
exactly.
He did that with Nestlig. He went to like Romans 1, 19 to something. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that it sounds like he's open-minded. Like, well, why don't you maybe entertain this? And then you're like, yeah, because I think you're being ignorant. And you're just basically, this is a lot of special pleading and arguments from ignorance. And then he's like, well, that shows what you know. When you meet my special buddy, Jesus Christ, he's gonna kick your ass, Patrick Swayze style. Like, wow, awesome, bro. This sounds like a wonderful, loving dude. Yeah.
So, in this scenario, who is Sam Elliott?
God. Sam Elliott's Yahweh.
Yeah, that's what I get whenever he.
No, Elisha.
On camera.
The prophet Elisha.
He's John the Baptist telling Jesus to straighten up. Like, oh, you're really fucked up, aren't you?
You're about to lose your head, bro.
Jesus is like, I'm gonna go to war. God, let's remake Roadhouse, but set it in first century, you know, and it's just like a group of corrupt Romans. And Jesus is good at two things: forgiving the world of its sins and ripping throats.
I actually read a book that was it was some kind of obscure Amazon author. The book ended up being kind of entertaining because the way it was almost like it was kind of like that show on HBO some years back, like Rome. The show Rome. Yeah, but this was more like it was more paced like a John McTiernan movie, like Die Hard. It was kind of like this action-paced thriller with modern language, but it was based in Roman times. It was kind of cool. It was pretty entertaining.
Wait, which movie are you talking about?
A book.
It was a book.
Oh.
It wasn't a movie, but I mean, the way it's almost like I think maybe the guy might have wrote that as a screenplay and then just decided to turn it into a novel. The pacing was almost exactly the way things are described and everything. Yeah. It's almost like a
screenplay.
Yeah.
There was also a good series. I don't remember what streaming service or cable channel it came on, but it was, I guess it was Spartacus. It was about Spartacus, and but it was fictional, historical fiction, I guess.
That was Showtime. Those were on Showtime.
Yeah, that had a real good Roman feel, and it was fast paced.
My favorite documentary is. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that show is great because it's insane. Like, it's just tons of profanity, lots of nudity, and vicious, violent mutilation.
Of the necessities.
Sounds like a good time.
My favorite documentary was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Very accurate. Very accurate. Yeah, it really got to the heart of the issue.
It really did. I was like, you know what? Okay.
It really showed you how tough it was to be president and have to go after vampires. It's just
sure did.
What was that movie about the guy that killed Hitler or something? Was
it's a Sam Elliott movie? Yeah, who killed Hitler and Sasquatch, I think.
Yep, the man who killed Hitler and then Bigfoot.
I need to watch that again. I saw it, but I don't really remember what it's about.
I never saw that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Let me look that up real quick.
It's available on Hulu, folks.
Okay. Hulu.
I just finished watching Justified, the entire series on Hulu, and
it's a great show. That is
the show. You know, there was a period of time when it was still, active, where I just wasn't too up on it for some reason. But now I've gone back through and watched the entire series, like binge watched it, and there is really no season that goes south has bad writing or production values or anything like that. The story just kept getting better and better, and the way that they tied it off and the way it started, were really appropriate.
And they're rebooting it with a different book by what's his name, the same author.
Elmore Leonard. Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna have another series based on a different book with the same character. Pretty cool.
Yep.
The book itself, I was kind of doing some research. It's called City Primeval.
Okay.
Elmore Leonard, and its main character is not Raylan Givens, so I think they're going to do a lot of reworking the
Really?
the story. Yeah, but there's a lot of there's a book called Raylan that Elmore Leonard wrote. And it's got a storyline that I don't think we saw much of in the series Justified. So I think I'm gonna start buying Elmore Leonard books that have Raylan Givens as the character.
If you've never read an Elmore Leonard novel, they are really, really breezy. They're very easy to read. That guy. I mean, some of them, I've read a couple that are not great, but even the ones that aren't great, his dialogue is fucking awesome. Like the guy was, and he wrote everything longhand. He wrote them in notebooks. He'd just sit down with like a pot of coffee and just start writing in the morning. And I think his goal was to write like five or six pages a day. And doing that, he'd write them out longhand on these big notepads. And then that was it. That was his work. And he would do like a book a year. And I don't know, like you can tell kind of by his prose, because none of his novels are particularly long. If you're a fast reader, you'll blast right through them. But I can't think of any other author that writes dialogue quite like his. Like, it's very natural and it's funny. It's very good. Elmore Leonard.
Oh yeah, I was gonna, but my audio kind of got screwed up. That's why I had to leave and come back. But one of the things that I paid, like, I watched the first 2-3 episodes of 2 or 3 seasons of Justified, was how much Kentucky started to look like Santa Clarita, California.
That got obvious when you'd see him driving by, because like when they did the pilot episode, they filmed it in and around the area, so you can tell, because you could, the skyline and everything and the clouds, it's like, that's the light was right for it, because they mostly shot natural light. And then by the time the show was ordered, they started filming more in and around, like, what do they call that? The studio county, Pasadena area in California. And when you see them driving along country roads, you look on the background, and it's like, those mountains are in California, because they don't have those kinds of mountains in Kentucky. That's not.
Yeah,
well, I need to travel more and see more skylines, pick up on that stuff.
When you start seeing an episode, and it's probably why they filmed a lot of it like in the fall and the early spring, because the reason being is because a lot of the grass in California starts to look kind of like Sicily, or parts of, well, maybe not Sicily, parts of Italy, where I think it's northern Italy, where the grass in the summertime, it kind of turns gold. That's why they call it the Golden State. Not only because of the gold rush, but also because when the grass goes into stasis because of the heat and lack of water, this particular grass that's here, I don't think it's originally native to California. I think it's from that part of Europe, from Italy and Spain. And so the hills out here and everything just turn golden. The unfortunate thing is they also go up like a tinderbox, and that's why we can get fucking fire so easily. But once it starts raining, once it starts raining, then all the hillsides turn nice and green.
So a really, really good series is the Righteous Gemstones.
I just started that. That show is amazing.
But
yes.
Okay, yeah, but and also the guy from Justified, Walton Goggins, is in it.
Oh yeah, Walton Goggins is a great actor.
But here's the amazing thing: the first season is like one kind of thing. The second season is taking this turn that is just amazing, and it's really interesting. But when you get to the second season, and there's only 5 episodes out, so
one of my favorite movies with like Timothy Oliphant in it is The Crazies. If you guys,
that was a good one.
The filming in that, the cinematography in that movie is pretty. It's real clean and crisp, but that movie's sweet. It's creepy as shit. But like everything, there's shit moving. Everything is fucking moving.
My favorite part in that movie is when the guy they get escorted or get bussed out of the town, and the one guy is telling Timothy Oliphant's character about, like, you just need to let your wife go. They're gone. We just need to move on and get out of here. And he gets that wide-eyed look and looks at him. He's like, you know what? You don't ask me why it's so difficult for me to let my wife go, and I won't ask you why it's so easy for you to leave yours.
Yeah.
that movie in a good minute, but I remember watching it in the theater and just thinking, "Damn, this movie is actually good." Because I usually don't care for zombie movies all that much, but that was on a whole other level.
It was recently, I think, included on either What Cultures or what's the name of the? I can't remember the name of the other channel, but as one of the most underappreciated horror movies of the 21st century or something like that. So,
and it was one of those horror movies that get good reviews. Like it was,
like kind of like Slither. Like Slither was kind of like, really? And then, but when you watch it, because it's a schlocky, kind of a schlocky, spin, kind of almost like a B movie. But Slither got really good reviews because of the way it was done. It was kind of done like this tongue-in-cheek B movie with, kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of thing. Alien comes in, infects people's brains with its spawn, shit like that.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I let my kids watch that when they were 5, and they've been in therapy ever since.
I have those in Funko Pops, dude.
Oh, what's that?
I have Funko Pops of those crazy little fuckers. I've never even seen the movie, but they came out because I collect those Funko Pop things. Those strange little 3.5-inch dolls and shit.
I'll take it.
They came out with those suckers, and I was like, "Yep, I'm buying those."
Another good show is Peacemaker. Just
they did this
It's
amazing thing.
a weird show, though. I'm still trying to figure out what's the fucking point. I mean, the dialogue in it, you can tell is written by an adult, but it's like they're stuck in junior high.
Which one?
Peacemaker.
Oh, I love Peacemaker.
On episode 5, I think.
I love Peacemaker.
I've really been enjoying it.
By the way, Gert, do you watch it till after the end of the credits?
I try to.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, each one has a post-credit scene. Yeah,
and they do a lot of ad lib in that thing. And holy fuck, those guys! That wrestler is really talented. I can't believe.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he was like memorizing that list of names or whatever of like anybody else but my dad. If you know the plot, and he did the list that made the cut, in the series, and then like this week's episode was the rest of that list, and I don't know if he was making them up or if it was from I don't know, an actual script, but he sure came up with some funny ones, or there was funny that didn't make it into there.
Yeah, when I turned that sucker, when I downloaded the first episode of that, and I watched it with my wife, and the title sequence breaks, it comes on, and they're doing the dance. My wife and I just looked at each other and just, what is the fucking point? But it's hilarious, but it's just weird because my wife's like, how long do you think it took them to do this while trying to keep a straight face? Because it's just absolutely the most ridiculous dance number.
From what I've heard, most everybody else probably would have had a hard time with it. I doubt Cena needed much time. Cena can do a lot of crazy shit and keep a straight face, like he doesn't break.
Yeah, but the interest, I guess a lot of people are watching that dance scene over and over again for every episode. Normally, you skip it, and just jump ahead. But I guess it's a surprising margin of people.
But the funny thing is when they have Judo Master come out, and he jumps on Cena's shoulder, and Cena's holding him, and the eagle comes up, and it's got its wings kind of spread, and you got John Cena standing there, and he's acting like he's out of breath, like he's breathing hard. Yeah, it's just like, that's fucking weird.
Well, I watched it the first episode. I watched it, but since then, 4 episodes later, I just skipped that part because it was funny the first time, but after that, I was like, okay, I'm good with it. But I guess I'm in the minority here because you said that there's actually a bigger number of people watching the title sequence.
Yeah.
Did you read about that, or how is there a way to get statistics on that?
My son somehow got some info on it. I got that secondhand. So
yeah, well, any of those streaming services, I mean, that's kind of the weird thing about it because they keep that internal data, but when they program the shows in there, they usually have that auto like skip intro thing, so they can tell how many people are like clicking on that option, and so all they got to do is like, out of all the shows, this one, no one clicks that option. They just keep watching this dance routine to this horrible song. It is a bad. I remember when the show premiered and I saw it, I was like, well, this is definitely James Gunn. And I asked my younger brother about it, and he's like, "Oh, that song from Wigwam," and I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?" He's like, they weren't even a one-hit wonder. They were just a hair metal band. They like never made it big. And I was like, "You knew who they were?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I'd heard that song before." He's like, "It's great. It's a great song, isn't it?" I'm like, "It's a collection of random bullshit." I'm like, "Throw your dog the invisible bone." That has no meaning. The song has no fucking meaning at all. He's like, "Yeah, it's great. It's great."
With some dogs, you can throw them an invisible bone, and they'll run and run and run to catch it.
Well,
maybe that's okay.
Maybe
all right.
Maybe that's what they refer to. But remember, Jeff, it's just like that saying: anything too stupid to be said, is sung.
Well, in that song's case, that's definitely true.
But anyway, I think I did hear that it's out streaming all the other shows, like even on Disney Plus, like Loki and all those shows. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard.
The Jack Candy quote of the day is in the live chat from Stephanie Trenton. Subliminal things in the mind see all events that even the skipped laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have a video and I go right to, and I haven't watched the video at all, and I go to the 35-minute mark of the video. I've seen everything else from 35 minutes before. Wow.
No. Raised by Wolves is coming out tonight?
Oh, that's another good show.
Oh my God.
So fucked up.
I endured the first season. I can only deal with so many close-up shots of fucking Fennel's fucking eyes. Jesus Christ. Poor guy looks like he's on the fucking verge of a nervous breakdown all the fucking time.
Who are you talking about?
And don't forget that
the guy from Vikings.
Oh,
the Australian actor from
I hate to do this, but I've got to get going. I'll see y'all later.
All right, bro. Thanks
I hate to do this, but
shoot it in the head.
There you
go. Okay, guys, we're gonna end for the day. Cool.
Yeah, because in this stream we've accomplished absolutely fucking nothing.
I think we've gone back in time.
Hey, you guys know all about amino acids and peptides now, right? Because there's gonna be a fucking quiz tomorrow.
That's right.
I skipped that part of the class.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're gonna be in trouble tomorrow, Jay.
I know.
Since this is wrapping up, Speed, I just wanted to let you know I'm currently spamming the live chat with Jack Candy quotes. So.
Oh. Okay.
That's all Stephanie Trenton really reminds me of. It's like Jack Candy, if Jack Candy could be more cringe.
Okay, we're ending. We'll see you guys later. Yep. Goodbye, cruel world.
Bye, everybody.
What the fuck?
We didn't even get a quiz.
I didn't even know. We're still broadcasting. What the fuck?
Oh, hi, everybody.
Okay, we're going to try that again.
No, just end it, dude. It's over. You can't get it back. It's over.
What's happening?
This is the after.
It's